exciting presentation we have here today about, really emerging industry of, what's setting up to be just a massive growth industry over the next decade, really.
Yes, yeah, we've seen a lot of profit opportunities in quantum computing, and we're going to show you some of the what we think are the best stocks in that group. And we've been very active trading these stocks. So have a really great presentation for folks today, and in what I believe is probably the best sector right now to invest in.
Yep, absolutely. It's just a hyper growth industry, a lot of really exciting opportunity there, and it should be. I think I agree with you. I think we have some great information in today's presentation, so I think the folks watching at home will really enjoy it. So I think we have just about everybody we're expecting in the room, so I think we can probably go ahead and kick things off here. But before we hop into the first couple of bits of real interesting information we're going to share with you today, we just want to remind everyone about this, of course. Remember, folks, the profits and performance are going to be shown today are not always typical, and you do have the possibility of losing money. And the trades are going to be expressed. Of course, these are going to be based on actual trades that were taken by Chuck and our team, as well as some live trade signals that were sent out to members in the past. And of course, we cannot guarantee any future results, just like anybody out there. Nobody can predict the future. We cannot guarantee those future results. And what you're going to see today are some of the best examples over the last few months. And of course, there were going to be some bigger winners. There were some smaller winners. And of course, like with any system out there, there were also some losers as well. So folks, always remember to trade at your own risk and see the terms on the TradeWinds homepage for more information. So with that out of the way, Chuck, this is really the first really interesting thing here that I want to share with folks. And, for people that sign up for today's call, you may have heard about quantum computing before. You may have never heard about this in this emerging industry. But for, whatever your level of, experience or understanding is about this emergent industry, just wanted to give you just in the simplest terms what exactly quantum computing is. Big scary word, right? So in the simplest terms, quantum computing, what it's doing is using the principles of quantum mechanics and physics, and what it's doing is to help perform calculations and computations much faster, extraordinarily faster than classical computers ever possibly could. And just to give you a little bit of reference of about exactly how much lightning fast quantum computing will be able to be and currently is compared to classical computers. Chuck, this was a headline that came out really less than a year ago. It came out back in December when Google made an extraordinary breakthrough in their quantum computing research. I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago, and I think it really blew you away, just like it did me. But Google has been working in-house on some, quantum computing research and development, and they've created recently their state-of-the-art quantum computing system, and it's powered by what they call their Willow chip. Okay, and so Google's Willow chip, they were running it through a test. They were testing against kind of what is considered the industry benchmark. It's just a very complex computation, and just seeing how fast one, if the Willow chip could handle it, but also two, how fast it could do it. So that's kind of the industry benchmark. And the results absolutely blew everybody away. It was actually able to do this complex computation in under 5 minutes. And why this is so impressive is that compared to traditional classical computers, how they operate today, even in the modern day, the strongest supercomputer out there, the modern day top of the line modern supercomputer, to do the same complex calculation to accomplish that benchmark calculation, it would have actually taken 10 septillion years to do the same work that Google's Willow chip did in under 5 minutes. Now, Chuck, I know when I mentioned this to you, it really blew you away. I know we're not often dealing in terms of septillion, but if you want to share a little bit of your reaction to just when you heard that headline.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I mean, I just can't even conceive of what 10 septillion means in terms of numbers. But let's put this in a little bit of perspective here, Blaine. My dad fought in the Pacific in World War II, and after the war, he went to the University of Pennsylvania on the GI Bill and studied electrical engineering. And at the time, they were developing the first electronic computer. It was called ENIAC, and the ENIAC weighed 30 tons. And it was comprised of vacuum tubes which burned really hot. And if a bug hit the vacuum tube, it could compromise the vacuum tube. So hence the phrase "my computer has a bug." So, uh, but that ENIAC at 30 tons, it can't even do what you can do on your laptop today with a small, tiny microchip. So just want to give some perspective there.
Right, exactly. It's really neat to see kind of where we've come from, and then also, it's very exciting to see where things are going. As you said, talking about that, original supercomputer that your dad helped work on that project back in the day, and then compare that to what we're all carrying around in our pockets today. It was probably exponentially more powerful than even that back then. So, but getting back to the quantum computing breakthrough that Google had here, talking about the 10 septillion years, again, Chuck and I, we're not often dealing in terms of septillion. So we were trying to figure out, just to give you all reference of exactly how fast that is. So we're all probably very familiar with a trillion. We hear about trillions all the time, watching news, financial news, right? So to give you perspective of how much 10 septillion years is, if you take 1 trillion, then go ahead and add 13 more zeros to the end of that number. That will give you 10 septillion. So just to put in perspective, just exactly how powerful these quantum computing breakthroughs are. And, again, we're still in the early stages. This is very much still ramping up and getting going. So a very exciting industry here. So just wanted to share that with you. It really blew us away, blew me away. So I feel, if you had not heard about that, feel like you would really enjoy that headline. So, again, getting back to what quantum computing is and, why this industry is so exciting. And this kind of will share with you a bit why we're so excited about it. So the quantum computing industry, while still in early stages, it has actually attracted billions of dollars and is still well positioned for long-term potential growth. And according to this projection over here, as you can see in this chart from Research and Markets, you can see quantum computing as the industry. It's actually expected to deliver a 31.6% compounded annual growth rate by 2030, being able to capitalize on the evolving technologies like we're living through the AI revolution right now on the back of the ever increasing need for data centers, as well as industry breakthroughs that are going to happen along the way. Now, you've probably seen some headlines, with major tech industry leaders just like Bill Gates and of course NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. They often have some commentary and making headlines about quantum computing, and sometimes expressing optimism as well as some skepticism, talking about the actual timeline about when this is really going to go mainstream. So you can see some examples here. But as I mentioned just a few moments ago, we're currently living through another technological revolution. That's the AI revolution. And, it's fair to ask, how's AI affecting the quantum computing revolution that's going to be coming? So, AI, what it's doing is helping to actually supercharge growth across these industries by automating very complex processes. We've seen this all in action over the last couple of years. And in quantum computing specifically, AI is actually helping to accelerate algorithm development, improve error correction, as well as solve problems that were once thought to be intractable and impossible to crack. Now, these two powerhouse industries, they actually help to merge to create what we're calling the quantum AI industry. And what is quantum AI? Well, what it is, it's simply just combining both AI with quantum computing to help solve even further complex problems in insanely fast speeds compared to traditional methods in current classical computers. Now, what it does is help to accelerate machine learning, optimization, as well as pattern recognition. And what it does is also help to unlock new possibilities in areas where classical computers actually fall short. Now, in the real world impact, once quantum computing begins to scale and really become mainstream, it really has the absolute potential, quantum AI does, to touch nearly every industry out there across the economy. But some of these right here, the ones that we feel are going to experience the largest impacts, and you're going to see a lot of shaking up in the drug discovery field, in medical research, drug discovery. You're also going to see a lot of impact in the cybersecurity industry. One of the things quantum computing actually has proven thus far to be very, very good at is cracking current encryption methods. So you're going to see a massive need for even heavier increased cybersecurity as this becomes more mainstream and publicly available. You're going to see massive impacts in financial modeling, logistics, and supply chains, as well as the emerging industry of robotics as well. Now, of course, as we've said, quantum computing is an emerging industry, but it has tremendous growth potential, as we've hinted to already. And although it's still somewhat speculative, it is actually drawing significant investor interest. Across Wall Street, it's one of the absolute hottest industries out there. and it has very strong government as well as private R&D support. You can see some of these headlines right here. There's a headline from the UK where they were developing a new national quantum laboratory to open up access to quantum computing. You can see some major players in the quantum space, IonQ and GDIT, were partnering to expand quantum computing for government defense. You can see Google and NVIDIA down there, some more traditional tech names partnering up again on quantum AI as well. So this is a red hot industry, folks. And right here, this chart's actually showing you, this is from a chart from McKinsey. You can see right here, this is what this is looking at. Is actually back in 2023, so this has ramped up since then. But this really gives you a perspective of how much governments out there. So these are sovereigns, these are governments, how much they're specifically investing in the quantum space and quantum technology. You can see China is clearly in the lead right here, coming in as of 2023 with $15.3 billion alone invested. And in total, with all these countries here, it's actually over $42 billion as of 2023. And of course, after the recent AI revolution we're living through right now, in the modern day in 2025, about midway through the year, of course, this has ramped up significantly since then. But you can see this is attracting just billions of dollars of investment in R&D and still has further high growth potential from here. You can see the quantum computing market. It's actually projected to exceed 7 billion. That's conservatively exceeding 7 billion market size by 2030. And of course, the AI market, it is in rapid growth stage right now as well. It's actually expected to reach 1.8 trillion by 2030. And by merging these two together to create the quantum AI integration that we're talking about, what you're going to see with this is even further accelerating growth rates for these hybrid tech companies that are going to take advantage of this. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how, Blaine, Chuck, how are we supposed to take advantage of this? What are some of the major players? How are we going to capitalize on this hyper growth industry? Now, you can see some of the key players, shown right here. Some of these are some very familiar names. Probably you can see, of course, NVIDIA, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon. So those are some more of your, mega cap tech stocks, very familiar names. Of course, IBM on there as well. And then there's some newer players here that are, very specific to the quantum industry, that are newer businesses, but are also in a hyper growth state as well. So you can see IonQ right here. This is one of the first pure play quantum computing stocks on the public markets. Have Rigetti Computing right here. They're focused on actually hybrid quantum and classical computer systems, so actually merging quantum and classic together. You have D-Wave right down here. Again, they also specialize in quantum systems. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Google has their quantum AI lab. They've created their Willow chip, had an absolute massive breakthrough just about 6 months ago. And of course, NVIDIA making bleeding edge, cutting edge chips for AI. They're also going to be expected to be competing highly in the quantum computing race as well. So just a number of different, major significant companies right here. They're going to be competing in this space. And so, again, just getting back to the question of why we would want to look to invest, why our team is looking to invest and trade in the quantum computing space. And as we've mentioned, there's absolutely huge growth potential in a potentially 2 trillion plus future market when you're combining quantum and AI together. And you're getting access to disruptive tech that's going to move across finance, health, robotics, cybersecurity, you name it. It's going to be touching those industries. And, we're still, for the quantum computing purposes, we're still very, very early into this next gen wave of computing innovation. And as you've seen, it's backed massively by big tech, governments, and institutions around the world. And again, looking at the long term, there's very high upside opportunity in this emerging industry within technology. So with all that in mind, folks, let's go ahead and look at some of the current opportunities in the quantum computing space. And we're going to show you some of the stocks in this space that are actually currently on our buy list. But first, I think it'd be good to just touch on just the terms and how we look to use Chuck's short-term PowerTrend system. So we're going to touch on just a brief overview of that here. It's actually just a two-step system. It's similar to the traditional PowerTrend system, but this is taking a little bit more shorter-term approach. So first, we'd look to select a stock that's on a PowerTrend, a short-term PowerTrend buy signal. So that's going to be what the terms of that are is looking to see if the stock's trading above its 35-day exponential moving average. And the second step, simply, just like the second step in the traditional PowerTrend method, we're looking to select a stock that's trading within the Keltner channel buy zone, looking for that lower risk entry point. So looking for stock that is no longer trading above the upper Keltner channel. Now, again, this trade selection process, just like the traditional PowerTrend method, it's going to be using technical analysis. You're looking at quantitative data, past data analysis, and if you use this if you quantitatively measure the price movement of a stock using past data and a trend following system, it helps you to determine the most likely future movement of a stock price. And what this can do is it helps to give you an edge you need to become a successful trader. Now, the powertrain trade selection steps, of course, they've been very clearly defined by the rules that are built into them, and they're very mechanical in nature. So there's no subjective judgments that are required. It takes out one of the most common problems that traders face, and that's making emotional trading decisions in the market. It helps to remove that entirely. You have clearly defined rules. It takes out all the subjectivity, and the trade selection steps are designed to match increase your odds of having a successful trade. And that's why we prefer to use a mechanical system to select our trades instead of, falling back in the trap of using emotional decision making trading in the markets. Now, following a system with a long history of success, this can help you give you the confidence needed to be a successful trader. So, Chuck, go ahead and let's talk about some of the quantum computing stocks that are currently on the buy signal.
Okay, sounds good, Blaine. And as we mentioned, we have a two-step process to select our trades. The first step is we want to see the stock trading above the 35-day exponential moving average. So we want to see the stock in a positive uptrend. So what we're displaying here is the daily price movement of D-Wave, which is a quantum computing company, and you can see the daily price movement here, the vertical red and black lines. And we can see the beginning of May here, D-Wave crossed above that 35-day EMA. And at that point, it was on a power trend short-term buy signal. And as long as D-Wave is trading above the 35-day EMA, it's on a buy signal. So 35-day EMA is this blue line right here. So we can see it's been on a strong buy signal lately. And then we want to, the second step in our process is we want to make sure the stock is in a Keltner channel buy zone. This can give us a lower risk entry point. So again, here's the daily price movement of D-Wave, and overlaid are the three Keltner channels. This upper blue line is the upper channel. The middle dotted line is the middle Keltner channel. And we have a lower blue line here, which is the lower Keltner channel. So this acts as a overbought, oversold indicator. And whenever a stock is trading above that upper channel, it's overbought and it's susceptible to a price retracement. So you can see the history here on D-Wave. It got overbought here back in December, retraced, overbought, retraced, overbought, retraced here in March. More recently, overbought and retraced. So right now, D-Wave is trading below that upper channel. So it is in the Keltner channel buy zone, as it's not overbought right now. So that's the second step in our trade selection process.
Yeah, it's a great looking setup there, Chuck, for QBTS. How about this next one right here?
Here's another one. This is Credo Technology, another stock I've been trading in that industry. And here's the daily price movement of Credo. And right beginning of May, right here, it crossed above that 35-day EMA, and it's been in a very positive price uptrend. So we want to look at stocks that are in a strong price uptrend when we're looking to take bullish trades, obviously. And here's here's the Keltner channels on Credo, and recently had a big upsurge in June. So of course, we don't buy if the stock is overbought. When it's trading above that upper channel, we simply wait for it to retrace. And it did retrace recently, and I jumped in on a trade on Credo. So again, we want to see the stock trading below the upper channel. It's no longer overbought. and it's in what we consider the Keltner channel buy zone, and that can give us a better entry.
That's another great setup. Here's another one here, Chuck. How about this one?
Yeah, here's another one. We've been trading this one, both the stock, the options, and what we call our micro trades. And this is on IonQ, and they develop quantum computers. And we can see um, IonQ back in April here, towards the end of April, crossed above that 35-day EMA, and it's on a very strong uptrend, price uptrend. And again, we can see Keltner channels overlaid here. IonQ is trading below that upper channel, is no longer overbought, and that can set up a good trade entry at this point. And again, this one got pretty overbought here at the end of May. So we simply waited till it retraced below that upper channel before we took any positions, and that's resulted in giving us some good entries for IonQ.
Absolutely. Now, Chuck, I think coming up, as we had promised the folks that signed up for today's event, we do have actually an actionable micro trade they're going to be sharing with them. It's actually going to be for that ticker right there. It's for IonQ. This was a great trade that we spotted. And so before we hop into it, I just want to give you just a brief run through of our team's micro trade strategy and what it is. The micro trade strategy helps us to utilize bullish call option spreads, which also allow us to trade low cost option positions. Now, most of our micro trades, they're generally going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $350 to $750. So, on average, comparatively to some other options strategies out there, that's very, very low cost. And you can very easily trade a portfolio of these micro trades in, say, a $3,000 trading account. That's very manageable. Now, when we're looking to initiate one of these bullish micro trade call option spreads, we first look for stocks, of course, that are on a PowerTrend buy signal or in the Keltner channel buy zone. Once we do that, we'll go ahead and initiate the call option spread by simultaneously first buying open or buying to open an in the money call option, and also, again, simultaneously selling to open a call option, but one that just has a higher strike price than the one that we bought to open. And of course, this can be done with one order. So you can just submit one simple order with most brokerage platforms out there to go ahead and put these types of trades on. Now, here's actually the trade right here, Chuck, that we're going to share with the folks today for IonQ. So here's that micro trade. And so it's going to be looking to simultaneously buy to open the IonQ July 18th, 2025, 31 strike call, and also simultaneously sell to open the IonQ July 18th, 2025 36 strike call. And again, reminder, this trade, of course, can be entered using just one order, doing both of those actions there. So Chuck, here's actually a snapshot of what it would look like to set this trade up. Go ahead and tell us kind of what you see here when you were setting up this order.
Yeah, this is an actual uh, uh, snapshot of my E-Trade account here, and it shows you how easy it is to enter these micro trades. You just need one order to enter these micro trades. So what I did is I um, pulled up IonQ on the E-Trade platform. I just typed in the symbol. It gives me the current price of IonQ. And then under strategies, I selected call spread. And when I selected call spread, the buy to open, sell to open, the expiration, and the strike price are automatically populated. So it makes it really easy if you just say call spread, all this populates automatically. And then you can change the expiration and the strike prices, and then it'll give you the current price for that micro trade over here. And uh, so I went ahead and selected, this is the trade that we'll want to give to folks today. I went ahead and selected the July 31st, 31 strike call and selling the July 36 strike call. So over here, you can see the bid ask uh, price for the 31 strike call and the 36 strike call. And what's really neat about these trading platforms nowadays is if you look down here, it says mid price 350. So what that is that's the mid price between the bid and the ask for these two options. You could do it manually. You could add 10.05 to 10.50, divide by 2, that would give you the midpoint price. You could do that for both options, but these platforms nowadays, they do all that for you. So you see a mid price here of 350, and you'd want to enter this at a net debit of 350. So that would cost you $350 to enter this trade. um, you would go ahead and enter this trade, and we normally can get filled right at that mid price for most of these stocks that we trade because they're very liquid. Um, if you don't get filled, you could maybe put it in at 355, just raise the price a little bit above the midpoint to get filled. But we usually have no problem entering these orders at around the midpoint price. Okay, so let's assume that we were able to enter this trade at 350, and let's take a look at what uh, the potential is for this trade that we're giving to folks today. So our team has created several unique proprietary optioneering calculator tools for our favorite trading strategies, including the micro trade strategy, which is a spread strategy. Now, these calculators allow us to easily vet our trade profit potential and risk before ever putting the trade on. So we can input different strike prices into this calculator, and it will instantly give us the profit potential for the strike prices that we select. So members of our premium trading services are given access to these tools. We actually have 6 different option calculators that we give our members. So let's take a look at what this trade looks like. And what I did is I input the current data for IonQ, the stock symbol, stock price trading at 40.06. The buy strike you saw there in that order was 31. That was trading at 10.28. And we want to sell the 36 strike at 6.78. So let's assume we were filled at that 350 midpoint price. And you can see right here, the calculator will calculate the cost of the spread, in this case, 350 or $350. So $350 to enter this trade. And then the calculator will calculate the profit potential based on various price movements in the underlying stock on IonQ, from a plus 10% move in the stock price to a minus 10% move in the stock price here. So it'll calculate the profit potential, and we can see in the column here in the middle, if the stock is flat at 40.06 at option expiration, this micro trade spread would realize a 42.9% return. If the stock is up at all, it's going to realize a 42.9% return. If the stock is down 2.5%, 5%, even 10% at option expiration, this spread will still realize a 42.9% return. So folks, anytime you can profit when your stock is flat, up or down, you're way ahead in the trading game. And being able to profit whether the stock is flat or down gives you a huge edge in the trading game, and you're going to have a higher percentage of winning trades compared to directional trades, and that higher percentage of winning trades can give you that edge that you need to be a successful trader.
Yeah, no kidding, Chuck. Be able to profit when the stock is up, flat, or down. That's fantastic right off the bat. But it's just icing on the cake, seeing the profit potential in all those scenarios there of being 42.9%. So not too shabby there for that trade we were able to find right there for IonQ. So with that, we'll go ahead and just hop right back into going over a few more terms about our micro trade strategy, just so you all are more familiar with what this is. And again, just a reminder, when we go to look to initiate these bullish call option spreads for stocks on a power trend buy signal. Again, we do this by simultaneously looking to buy to open an in the money call option spread and also sell to open a call option spread with a higher strike price than the one that we bought to open. And again, as Chuck showed you just a few moments ago, these trades can be entered using one order. So Chuck, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the micro trade strategy.
Okay, with micro trades, we normally initiate these spreads with about 4 weeks until option expiration. And these trades, you can exit these trades early when they achieve most of the profit potential. So if you achieve 70, 80% of the profit potential early on, let's say the stock really rallied hard, or early on you achieve most of the profit potential, you can simply exit the trade. You don't have to wait till option expiration, and they normally cost between 350 and $750. We just saw in that IonQ trade that we're giving out today, the cost for that one was $350. And a portfolio of these option spreads can be traded in a $3,000 trading account. Now, just on the logistics on a spread trade, the call option that we purchase will profit if the price of the underlying stock increases, and the call option that we sold will profit if the price of the underlying stock decreases. And this provides downside protection if the stock price decreases. And your risk is limited to the cost of the spread. So in this case, with the IonQ example, our maximum risk would be $350. Now, the full profit potential of the spread is realized if the underlying stock closes at or above the strike price of the call option sold. So if you sell an in-the-money call, the price of the underlying stock does not have to increase to realize the full profit potential of the spread. And we saw in that IonQ example, if the stock is flat, that spread has the potential to produce a 42% return, and the stock doesn't even have to go up, and it can even go down, and you're still going to profit on the spread. Now, typically these trades realize a 25 to 40% return if the stock is flat at option expiration, and they can also profit if the stock is down as much as 20%. Now, of course, you can achieve a higher percentage of winning trades if you can profit when the underlying stock is up, down, or flat at option expiration. And a higher percentage of winning trades can give you that discipline you need to become a successful trader. Now, just remember, folks, if you take a directional option trade, let's say you buy a call option and you purchase an at the money or out of the money directional call option, if the underlying stock closes flat or down at option expiration, you're going to realize a 100% loss on that trade. So call option spreads can profit even if the underlying stock is flat or down, and that can help you avoid those big 100% losers that you can get on directional option trade. And the spread trades can help us avoid these big losing trades. Now, call option spreads have built-in downside protection that can allow you to hold the spread during volatile markets. We've seen a lot of volatile markets over the past year, and this can help prevent being stopped out of the trade. And this gives you the ability to profit during volatile markets and can result in a higher percentage of winning trades.
Now, moving on from there, Chuck, we'll go ahead and talk about just a couple current micro trades that you actually have on. You placed these just really in the past week, I believe, for some quantum computing names out there that are some of our favorites that we've spotted. So the two we're going to touch on are going to be Vertiv Holdings, ticker VRT, and then, of course, CoreWeave, brand new IPO, ticker CRWV. So let's go ahead and hop into these. And the first one we're going to look at here is, of course, just as I mentioned, it's going to be Vertiv Holdings, ticker is VRT. And just to give you a little background on what this company does, they actually provide digital infrastructure and continuity solutions, and they offer hardware, software, analytics, and ongoing services on those other products they offer. Now, just a little bit about their business. VRT, they actually reported 2024 revenue of $8.01 billion. And that was great. It was actually up a little close to 17% year over year compared to the previous year in 23. And just what the company's forecasting in this current year, the company's actually forecasting a ramp in revenue growth. Actually, they're projecting 18.1% revenue growth this year in 2025. So that's indicating revenue growth acceleration, which actually may be exceeded due to the just crazy ramping up of global data center activity. So a really, really hot industry right here with Vertiv. Their products and services are in really high demand. And with that, just looking down here to our chart of Vertiv, again, this is just like the charts we were looking at earlier. We can see that Vertiv is on a short-term power trend buy signal. We see back in late April as the market was recovering, Vertiv was really helping to lead things higher. You can see the stock crossed above that 35-day EMA right there just in late April. And so it's remained above that ever since in a really nice trend, making some higher highs and higher lows. And just looking at current prices, you can see we also have our Keltner channels on here. Vertiv was overbought on several occasions recently, but at current price levels, it's pulled back, actually trading just a touch below 110 per share. So that's well within our Keltner channel buys in, making this a great looking setup, even at current prices. But Chuck, go ahead and tell us about the trade you put on recently.
Yeah, Blaine, if you could go back to that chart for just a second, just want to show them. Here's that 35-day EMA line here, right here. It's the red line. You can see back in February, Vertiv crossed below that 35-day EMA. And of course, we wouldn't consider taking a long position if the stock is obviously on a price downtrend. So back in February, it went on a sell signal around 120, and then we got a recent buy signal here in early May. So it was trading at 120 at the sell signal, got down as low as 55. So, we're price trend followers, and this is a good example of why you want to follow the price trend and use the 50-day EMA to help you time your trade. We simply don't want to buy when the stock is in a price downtrend. We want to wait for it to cross above that 35-day EMA and it's in a price uptrend. So if you buy a stock when it's in a price downtrend and it's trading below this 35-day EMA, if you buy it, you have to correctly predict when the stock is going to turn around and come back above that 35-day EMA. And that can be really hard to do on a consistent basis. So we simply follow the trend.
Absolutely. So here's that micro trade you currently have on, Chuck. What did you see in this one right here? This is a solid looking trade.
Yes. I actually took this trade last Friday. So my brokerage confirmation shows that I bought the Vertiv August 100 call and sold the 105 call. So last Friday, Vertiv was trading at 115.83. So I plugged these strike prices into the call option spread calculator. The buy strike was 100, and the cost of the 100 strike call was 20.97. And I sold the 105 strike call at 17.67. So here's the buy price right here, 20.97, sell price 17.67. So I clicked calculate, and we can see that the cost for this spread was $330. And if Vertiv is flat at option expiration uh, at 115.83, we can see that the spread produces a 51.5% return. And if Vertiv is up at all at option expiration, we'll realize a 51.5% return. And even if it's down 5%, we'll still realize a 51.5% return. Down 10%, we still profit at a 28.7% return. So really good return with downside protection for this Vertiv call spread.
Yeah, absolutely. Great looking trade there, Chuck. And moving along here on to the next one that you spotted. Again, this is another recent entry for you. This was for CoreWeave. And again, as I mentioned, this is a recent IPO. They haven't been trading publicly all that long, but ticker is CRWV. And folks, if you're unfamiliar with them, they actually operate a cloud platform that provides scaling, support, and acceleration for generative artificial intelligence. And the company's platform offers AI modeling training, AI interference, and mission control services. Now, in addition to that, the company also helps to develop a data set optimization tool for machine learning developers out there in the AI field. Now, again, just some basic fundamentals about them. CoreWeave has seen explosive revenue growth just in this past quarter. They just reported recently their Q1 2025. So for this year, their Q1 revenue, they reported revenues of $981 million, which was a massive ramp up compared year over year to the previous year's Q1. It's actually a 420% year over year increase. So just absolutely exploding revenues for this emerging company right here in CoreWeave. And again, you can see in our chart right here, looking at the technicals, they're confirming the great fundamentals behind this company here. You can see again our red line right here. This is our 35-day EMA that we like to use for the short-term power trend system. You can see the stock has been trading above the 35-day EMA actually ever since roughly the second, about the second week in May. So this is still a pretty new buy signal right here. It's only been around for just about a month's time at this point, and this snapshot was actually taken yesterday, but when Chuck entered this trade, CoreWeave was actually trading below the upper Keltner channel and was in the buy zone. So, it's rallied a bit more since then. It's actually performed quite well. So, Chuck, I'm sure you're sitting on a pretty nice gain there on this trade. We'll get to that in a moment, but just, a great looking trend here for CoreWeave as well. So, Chuck Wilson, tell us a bit more about CoreWeave right here.
Yeah, so I took a option spread trade on CoreWeave, and I bought to open the July 110 strike call at 34.26, and my brokerage confirmation shows that I sold the CoreWeave August 120 strike call at 27.96. So I input this into the call option spread calculator. CoreWeave trading at 162.10. The buy strike was 110, and I got filled at 34.26 on the buy strike. The sell strike was 120, and I got filled at 72.96 on the sell strike. So we can see that the pretty strong profit opportunity here in CoreWeave. If the stock is flat at option expiration at 162.10, this spread will realize a 58.7% return. If the stock is up at all at option expiration, 58.7% return. If the stock is down 7.5%, 12.5%, even 25%, we're still going to realize a 58.7% return for CoreWeave. So that's about as good as it gets, folks. If your stock goes down 25%, you're going to make 58.7% on your spread trade. So that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, not a bad risk to reward with that one there, Chuck. That's pretty incredible. And here's just some other moves in the quantum computing space, just some other trades that our team has taken recently. This was one taken by Helene, actually. She actually took this one right here. This was a stock purchase for quantum computing, and she purchased some of these shares just about 3 weeks time, has seen over a 50% return on just that stock purchase here for Quantum Computing Inc. Ticker is QCI. So purchase there. And here's another one she actually made recently too. This was just a couple months ago. She had spotted the turnaround in IonQ shares and decided to go ahead and put a small position on, purchase some shares for IonQ. And just under 2 months' time, she's had a nice close to 45% return in those IonQ shares. So another great return there on those stock purchases, Helene. So way to go. I know you're listening there in the background. So great job on those. But Chuck, I know you've, in addition to the great micro trades we just covered there, I know you also have some great positions you put on recently and seen some great success from some of our other favorite option strategies. Go ahead and tell them about this trade right here.
Yeah, here's a call option purchase I did on CoreWeave, and let's see, I bought the CoreWeave August 110 strike call, and I paid 34.26 for the 110 strike call. And currently that option's trading at 52.05. So actually I entered this 3 days ago. So the price paid was 34.26. That gives me a $1,865 profit. Or no, it gives me a $1,778 profit and a 51.9% return in 3 days. So big winner right out of the gate on this CoreWeave option purchase.
Yeah, quick winner there. And here's another one right here that worked out pretty quick too.
Yeah, this was I've been holding this one for 6 days. This is QUBT, and I bought the July 12 strike call, paid $1.75 for that 12 call. And over the last 6 days, I've got a 72.3% return in 6 days on QUBT.
Awesome. Yeah. And of course, Chuck, as we mentioned earlier, not all trades, of course, are going to work out quite this well, but man, you've really been able to stack up some great winners lately in the quantum space, spotting these opportunities in this emerging industry. And how about this one right here? This is really the cherry on top for these great quantum trades you've had of late.
Yes, this one's for Palantir. This is another option purchase, and I purchased the Palantir July 80 call at 1780, currently trading at 49.40. So I have a $3,486 return, and that equates to 195.8% return on Palantir. So we've been trading this one for a while now. This is one of those great stocks in the quantum computing AI space. It's been on a really strong price uptrend for a long time, and took advantage of an option purchase on Palantir with a 195% return on this option purchase.
Yeah, near 200% in just about 8 weeks' time. That's pretty great. In fact, you had some great success just buying actually the stock shares as well. You had a nice a trade here for CoreWeave too, if you want to touch on that one briefly.
Yeah, this was shortly after the IPO there, and this was on April 3rd. So just over 2 months ago, I purchased 1,000 shares of CoreWeave at 50.20. Then I purchased an additional 1,100 shares at 46.20. So my average price for that 2,100 shares was 48.10. CoreWeave's currently trading at 162.10. So that's a $239,000 profit and a 237% return on CoreWeave. So I guess you could say I'm a believer in CoreWeave.
Yeah, no doubt. Not too bad in just about a month and a half time. And again, another great purchase here when you spotted this one in early April for Palantir. This has been just a rocket ship higher.
Yes, yeah. I bought let's see, 660 shares at 76, bought another 630 shares at 80. So my average price for Palantir was 77.95. It's currently trading at 132.06. So I have a 69,801 open trade profit and a 69.4% return on Palantir.
And that's pretty incredible there, Chuck. And here's just a bit of your history if you want to talk about this too.
Yeah, what I did is I pulled out all my brokerage statements for the micro trade spread strategy and totaled up all the profits over a recent 6 year period. So I actually have $1.4 million in actual profits trading this micro trade strategy. My average return, winners and losers, was 38.2%. So I have some real-time profits with this strategy. This is one of the best strategies I've traded over the years, and I just tallied up my total profits for these spread trades. So 1.4 million in actual trade profits.
Yeah, it's impressive here, Chuck. And next, I think you're going to go ahead and share with folks watching today just an opportunity of how they can, start to get some of these micro trades and, other power trend setups, particularly in the quantum space. That's, where you're targeting right now, real red hot industry. So go ahead and tell folks how they can actually start to get some of these setups if they're not already.
Yes, well, we issue micro trade spread trades in our advisory service. And we have a platinum reserve option trading service, our pro service. It makes trade recommendations for call option spread trades as well as other option strategies and offers a comprehensive approach to options trading. So we issue trade signals for these spreads and option purchases. And the pro trading service focuses on high probability trade setups and effective risk management. And subscribers receive regular trade alerts, market analysis, and educational resources to enhance their trading skills. So what I'm showing now is I took a snapshot of the pro trading service, and we maintain an open trade table for all of our open trades. And each day, these prices are updated, and that in turn updates the profit and the percent return. So this is an open snapshot we just took of the pro trading service. These prices are updated in real time daily, so you can always see how each open trade is doing. So this is a snapshot of the open trades for our spread trades. So we have three, four, so we have 7 spread trades open right now. Average return of 69% for our 7 spread trades. And in this column, we list the stock and the strike price that we bought and sold. In this column, it lists our entry price. And then in this column, it lists the updated price, which updates every day, the resulting dollar profit, and then percent return. So each day this is updated and in real time, so you can see how each option spread trade is doing. And I wanted to focus on what we call infinity trades here. Let's take a look at this ITT spread trade right here. We bought the July 115 strike call, and we sold the July 125 strike call. So this has an $875 open trade profit and an open trade percent return of 875%. So what we do is with these infinity trades at option expiration, we'll roll over the profits from a spread trade into the new trade. And when we roll over those profits, it allows us to reduce the cost basis and risk of the new trade. And after several rollovers, it's possible to reduce the cost basis below zero. And when we do that, of course, we have infinity profit potential because we have no cost and we can't lose on the trade. So this is an example of one of our infinity trades here in the option spread trade portfolio by rolling over our profits at option expiration. So we currently have 3 infinity trades in this portfolio where we have no risk going forward and we have infinite profit potential because we have no cost.
No, it's such a great and incredible part of your strategy there, Chuck, that we use here on the team. Seeing how the micro trades and infinity trade concept really dovetail together, and that's a great example of it right there. And just to say a little bit more, show them exactly because of the infinity trade and those rolled over profits. Tell them what's going on in this chart right here.
Yeah, so this is the ITT trade I just mentioned. Here's the daily price movement of ITT, and we draw a red line down here where that's the break-even point. So with ITT trading around 152, it would have to drop all the way down below 117.5 before we would start losing on this trade. So it just gives you an example of the downside protection that's built into these infinity trades. And we have a break-even point down here at around 116 or so. So that's a pretty far drop. We wouldn't expect IT&T to drop that far, but even if it did, we would still, with an infinity trade, we would still realize a profit.
No, that's an incredible downside protection. Chuck, this right here, this is actually just focusing back on the pro trading service. And this is actually looking at the live signal records. These are all the closed trade alerts that have been sent out to members dating back to 2020. And just some incredible results here, just some highlights just on this. Just want to point out right here. So throughout the past 5-year period, you can see these are the percentage of winners and losers for the trade. So you have, right at, just call it an 80% win percentage through these past 5 years. Of course, there's been a lot of chop in the markets over these last 5 years. And of all the closed trade alerts that were sent out to members, 80% of them turned out to be winners. That's an incredible win rate right there for the pro trading service. And over here, you can see, of course, it's been very nicely profitable. You can see the gross profit and gross losses. So you can see, the gross profit, and it comes out to a net profit of just about $410,000 from those closed trade alerts during that period of time. So you can see a very nicely profitable trading service program that you're offering here with the pro system. And just one final thing here that really stands out to me, Chuck, is this profit factor number over here. So what this folks is doing is taking all of the total wins and dividing it by all of the total losses as well. And when you do this, what you're ideally looking for, for just a viable trading system, one that is making money and you can find some success in, if you see a profit factor of 1.5 or better, if you're at 1.5, that means you're going to be in the black, you're making money, you have a viable system. But anything that starts to get above a 1.5 profit factor, that's just icing on the cake. So you can see having a profit factor of near 4, that means, that's frankly incredible. That's just an absolutely fantastic profit factor and really speaks to truly just how successful these trade alert signals that you've sent over the past 5 years to members really have been. So hats off to you, Chuck. I know teams always working hard together on those, but that's just an incredible record you've been able to put together there.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not often you see a live trade signal record over a 5-year period. So this is not historical results. Um, this is not historical results, hypothetical results. These are actual live trade signals we sent to our members. And whenever you have a 3.98 profit factor, almost 4.0, it's a very comfortable way to trade because it's an indication that you're really managing your risk and you're going to tend to stick with the system more or better if it has over a 1.5 profit factor. And with this profit factor near 4, it's a very comfortable way to trade. And the odds are you're going to stick with this type of a system through the drawdowns and losing periods, which all systems have. So again, these are actual live trade signals sent out, not should have, could have, would have, hypothetical results.
Absolutely. And so, again, just to touch on your record, just dating back all the way to the year 2000, looking at the past 25 years, you can see the live trade alert signal services. You've given your members the opportunity to pocket, if they've been following you that whole time, over $18 million, according to the closed trade profits, if they've been following all those results over the past 25 years. And, to make that even more impressive, in that whole period of time, despite a lot of market crashes, a lot of chop in between there, you've not had a single losing year. Every single year has been solidly profitable, has been adding to that total cumulative profit over that period of time. No losing years, despite all just crushing market meltdowns and sell-offs and bear markets in between. So just absolutely incredible track record there on these actual live. These are not historical results that were just found and back tested. These are actual live signals that were sent out to members over the past 25 years time. So just an incredible record there. So folks, we've shown you one of the red hot industries that we're looking at right now. We're looking for opportunities in. We've talked about what is included in the Pro trade alert system and service. What you could expect to get if you're not currently a member right now. So if you wanted to go ahead and become a member to this, well, we're going to tell you now how you actually have the opportunity to do that. And the way you'll do that is actually just go ahead and giving our team a call in our office here with our partner over at FFR Trading. Go ahead and get signed up for the Platinum Reserve Options Trade Alert service, and you actually could begin receiving trade alerts and trade signals as soon as possibly today if you go ahead and sign up quick. And the easiest way to reach them is actually calling at the number highlighted in blue below. So it's that 1-737-292-4425. And just to say a little bit more about FFR, one of our great partners here, they're actually going to be one of the official support offices for Chuck Hughes high performance trading programs. And Chuck's actually been partnering with Michael over at the FFR team dating back to 2007. So we've had a great partnership all the way back that, looking back to 2007. And what they do is they help to bring some of Chuck's premium trade alert signal services and make them available to you all. This is going to be including the weekly option alerts. This is the Platinum Reserve Options or Pro, like we've talked a little bit about today. We have the Elite Trade Alerts, as well as one of our absolute favorite technical indicators we've created called the Copilot Indicator. So that's a handful of the just different products that they're actually able to help connect you with that include all the trade alert signals from Chuck and our team. Now, for FFR Trading, they are a due diligence agency, and they look to verify every trader and strategy that we actually promote with them. And what their mission is they want to give individual investors access to proven systems and real verified track records. And just to say a little bit about them, I mean, this is just speaking to their reputation, their credibility. We can say how much we love them over at FFR, how much we love our partnership with them, but this is what their actual clients have said. So this is looking at their just online. Anybody can post on here. This is actually talking about their Google rating. So this is what their clients have said about them. They have a 4.6 star Google rating. It's this is out of 5 stars, so they have a very strong reputation according to their clients. They've helped in the past, and they have a team of experienced trading professionals, and they provide support, education, and strategic guidance in order to help you find success trading in the markets. Now, again, if you want to go ahead and get your hands on these Platinum Reserve trade alerts, kind of like we've talked about today, some of the great opportunities that Chuck and our team were spotting in the quantum and quantum AI industries that are emerging, some great trading opportunities as we've shown you today. Chuck and our team, we found some awesome setups even here just recently. So if you want to get connected with these, go ahead and make sure to go ahead and give our partners over at FFR Trading a call. You can reach them at either one of these numbers here. Again, that's the 800-883-0524, or again, the number I mentioned earlier is going to be that 737-292-4425. And you can also, they do have a support email you can contact them at as well. It's best to contact them via phone. That will be the quickest way to get in touch with them. But should you need to send them an email, you can also contact them at support@ffrtrading.com. And there's their website below too, the www.ffrtrading.com. And so, Chuck, this is actually the final slide of today's presentation. But I think this was a fantastic presentation. I really would like, I hope people enjoyed what we had to share about this really exciting emergent industry in quantum computing, and a lot of the different trade setups that you and myself and Helene and the rest of our team have spotted trading in this red hot industry. And we have some alerts out in some of the programs like Pro right now, touching on some of these great opportunities out there, and I'm sure there's going to be many more to come here soon.
Yeah, and this is not a cyclical type of business, Blaine, that's dependent on a strong economy. These
Right.
contracts, government support, industry contracts are in place, and there's a very bright future for this sector. I say, why focus on cyclical stocks that go up and down based on consumer spending or the economy, when you can participate, in the greatest revolution of our lifetime, and participate in these companies that are building out these quantum computers and AI technology. Very,
Yep, absolutely.
very bright future ahead.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a very bright future. As we touched on earlier, just some of this the hyper growth that the companies in Wall Street is full on expecting for the quantum computing space, particularly once we're currently living through the AI revolution right now, and this is incredible. There's just breakthrough after breakthrough coming out day after day just with the AI revolution, but what's going to be built on top of that once as R&D continues to ramp up, more breakthroughs are found in the quantum computing space, just like when I was talking earlier about the incredible breakthrough that Google had just last year, just late last year in December with their Willow chip, being able to uh, perform that complex computation in under 5 minutes. You're going to see more and more headlines like this, and the months and weeks, and years to come. And this is going to be just a hyper growth industry over the next decade. And, really, once it starts ramping up, becoming more mainstream, you're going to see this dovetail right along with AI. They're going to be working in tandem, right side by side. And as you said, Chuck, this is going to be one of the most absolutely incredible technological revolutions probably in our lifetime. We probably can't even fathom everything that quantum and quantum AI is going to touch regarding the economy, coming up. But as investors, being able to see it early on, that's really exciting. So, we're going to be looking for opportunities there. You certainly already found some great success with different opportunities that you've already put trades in on. So, we would love to see a lot of folks. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. We'd like to see you, join along, become a member of the Hughes organization here, whether it's, getting into the pro service or weekly option alerts. But you'll be able to follow along as we spot opportunities in this great and exciting emergent industry with quantum computing. So, Chuck, anything else that you have to share with the folks today?
No, it was great to be here today, folks, and we're here. The Hughes Optioneering team is here to help you in any way we can to help you succeed in trading. And I think this is one of our best opportunities right now in our lifetime to invest in this emerging technology. And like I said, there's built-in contracts with this, and this is just going to continue growing at a very high rate, and we want to participate in that high rate growth with these quantum computing stocks.
Yep, absolutely. And one thing I just want to add before we go ahead and log off for today's call, we only have a couple minutes left. But if you're unable to call our team over to FFR, call our partners over there to discuss, how you can get your hands on these trade alerts like we've talked about today. If you can't call right now, you can't call today. There actually is an opportunity to go ahead and just book an appointment at your earliest convenience if you're interested to go ahead and become a member of the Pro Trading service. So Helene actually threw a link just down in the chat. It's there available right now. So if you see that link in your chat there, you can go ahead and just click that and go on over, make an appointment, and you'll be able to, set the appointment time whenever is your earliest convenience, whenever you want to go ahead and, they'll just, you'll get your phone number and you'll have FFR set up to just reach out to you at your most convenient time. So if you're unable to call them right now, that's another great option. But, if you want to go ahead and get signed up today, you want to have your opportunity to go ahead and join the pro trading service today. Begin getting these trade alert signals as early as possible in the next couple hours. We still have a couple hours left before the market closes, Chuck. And there's definitely some attractive looking opportunities out there in quantum computing and otherwise. So there certainly could be some new alerts getting sent out before the end of the day. So you can either go ahead and click that link, make your appointment today, or go ahead and give them a call over one of the numbers listed below. Primary number there is at 737 292-4425 to go ahead and get in touch with our partners over there at FFR, and they can help you get set up to begin receiving these alerts. So, yeah, again, Chuck, great presentation. There's a lot of, we covered a lot of ground today, a lot of exciting information here in today's presentation. I fully agree with you. This is one of the most exciting opportunities in the market out there alongside of AI. And just because, of what's to come over the next decade as these two kind of dovetail together and, create just a really exciting industry and technology. So that's all I have for today. So thank you so much, folks, for watching. I really appreciate you logging on to be here live with Chuck and I today. Hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Hope to see you back here soon. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And Chuck, feel free to go ahead and sign off.
Okay, it's been great being here today, folks. Thank you for spending part of your day to look at this quantum AI sector. I think we have exciting times ahead of us here in investing in these stocks. And as I said earlier, our goal here at Hughes Optioneering is to help you become a successful trader. So we're totally dedicated to that, and we'll do everything we can with our team to help you reach that goal. Have a great day, everybody.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks so much.